everyone, my name is Miranda and welcome to Book Talk, where today I will be reviewing Asunder by Jodi Meadows. This is the second book in the New Soul trilogy, the sequel to Incarnate, and if you haven't heard of this series, basically it takes place in a world where everyone is reincarnated. So when you are born, you're actually a soul that had already lived. Everyone is reincarnated until this girl Anna is born one day, and she is called a new soul, meaning she has not lived before. She's not reincarnated. This is her first time living, and everyone kind of freaks out and they're just really horrified because the fact that Anna is living means they lost one of their old souls, the person that was supposed to be reincarnated. Anna took her place. So Anna and her birth mother, who hates Anna by the way, are kicked out of Heart, which is the city where they live in, and they go to live by themselves, where Anna grows up basically thinking she is a no soul, she is stupid, she can't love anything, just suffers a lot of physical and verbal abuse at the hands of her birth mother, who hates her for taking the old soul's place and for kind of kicking her out of society. Obviously a lot happened in the first book that I don't want to spoil for you, so if you haven't read the first book, I'm telling you right now, please don't watch the rest of this video, but if you haven't watched the second book, you're safe for a little while at least. The second book picks up after Temple Dark, when we lost, I don't know, like 75 souls who will not be coming back thanks to Anna's birth father, who created this basically where he stopped Janan, I can't say any of their names, Jan or Janan, however you say it, from reincarnating the souls during Temple Dark, when the temple was dark, obviously. Everyone's kind of blaming Anna for it, obviously, because this means that A, there are going to be more new souls coming, more souls like her, and B, her father is basically responsible for this, so they think that he has kind of left her some legacy and she'll know how to make another Temple Dark now. At the start of this book, Sam and Anna are kind of going back out to Purple Rose Cottage, trying to figure out exactly what her father was doing, how he did it, all that stuff, even though they don't want to make a Temple Dark. They just want to make sure that no one else can do it again. But all the progress that Anna had made in the first book with the citizens of Heart, how they had come to start accepting her and all that, that basically just got thrown right out the window in the beginning of the second book after everything that happened with Temple Dark. I was a huge fan of the first book. I absolutely loved it. I didn't think I would. I mean, the covers are gorgeous enough, and I thought it was going to be like The Selection again, where it's beautiful cover and then the story is just but reading it, I was so thoroughly impressed. I love Anna. When I finished reading it, I was like, how is this going to be a trilogy? I don't understand. But this book, oh my good golly gracious, it totally proved to me that the series needed to be a trilogy. We learned so much more in this book. We actually get answers. Isn't that crazy? We found out more about Janan, or however you say his name, and all about new souls, because that's the other thing. We get a new soul. Say that 10 times fast. There's a baby born that is like Anna and does not register on the soul scanner as someone they have known before, meaning they are a new soul. And oh my good golly gracious, the discrimination and the prejudice against the new souls in this book, if you thought it was bad in the first one, wait till you see this one, because people start throwing rocks at Anna. She starts getting crazy messages on her phone like it makes the story so much more interesting, and it helps Anna kind of grow into her own and become even stronger than she was in the first book. One of the things that I really love about this series is that, like, Anna, she's strong, but she does have those moments where she's weak and she cries and Sam has to take care of her. And I always kind of roll my eyes because I'm like, oh, here we go, the damsel in distress playing that blah blah. But then like 100 pages later, the reverse will happen, where Sam kind of falls apart, starts like going into like some kind of stupor, crying, and Anna has to be the strong one to pull him out and be like, come on, it's okay, remember. And I love that, because I think that is really the most realistic portrayal of a relationship that you could ask for. Because I know as much as we love seeing our female characters kick butt and not needing a man, it's true that sometimes you do need a man, and we don't often see where the man needs the girl too. So I like seeing the flip side of both of those, and I loved, we got to meet Chris, let's say his name is, I don't know how to pronounce any of their names. But we got to meet Chris, who is the infamous Chris from the Purple Rose Cottage, and oh my gosh, I don't want to spoil it, but he has one of the best storylines, and he is probably one of my favorite characters in this series behind Anna and Sam, for various reasons that I don't want to say because I really don't want to spoil you until you read this book. This book was just pure amazement. I loved every single second of it. The only thing that bothered me was Steph, because her character was weird. It was like sometimes she was nice, sometimes she was a bitch to Anna, and I was like, I don't get what's going on, how this character can flip so much. She was kind of just like that for the sake of the story and to move it along in a certain direction. It didn't really work that well, but I get why the author put it in there. So it was the only thing that really didn't work for me, but the rest was absolute perfection. If you haven't read this book yet, you need to read it, and if you haven't read the series, even though I told you if you haven't read the first book to go away now, you need to read read this series because I was really hesitant to read it. I thought it wasn't going to be that good. It sounded kind of stupid when I first read the little summary on Goodreads, but so good, and the sequel is just even better. So now I'm so excited to read the third one. I cannot wait to get it from the library. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. If you haven't read the second book, there's a lot that I want to talk about that's going to contain spoilers. So if you haven't read it, probably going to want to go away now, read the book, and then come back and watch all this because I don't want to ruin anything for you because like I said, it is a very thrilling and adventurous ride and you're going to get so many answers to the questions you've been having that it's completely worth it just to read it for that. And Chris, of course, you gotta meet Chris. Alright, so Asunder. What is there to say about Asunder? I, like I said, was hesitant this was gonna work as a trilogy. I thought it was just gonna be one of those books that was dragged and stretched and pulled until I was just screaming my eyeballs out, but it was so good. One of my favorite things, there was not a love triangle in this book. It would have been so easy to add someone in that kind of would have taken away Anna's affection from Sam, but Jodi Meadows did not do that, and I applaud her for it. I almost thought Chris was going to be the third point to the love triangle, which it kind of was a love triangle, but it was the coolest love triangle ever because instead of the main girl character being the one that had two affections, it was actually her love interest, Sam, that had two people, even three actually, competing for his attention. It's still one of the weirdest things to me to think that, like, since they're reincarnated, sometimes they were women and sometimes they were men. So when Chris was a woman, Sam and him, or her, they got together and they liked each other. And I thought when we first met Chris that him and Sam didn't like each other, but then when I started getting like the awkward vibe and how Sam had written a song called Blue Rose Serenade, I was like, I'm getting what you're dropping here, Jodi Meadows. I'm getting the hints. And Steph, too, we find out, is in love with Sam, which Anna is really just kind of funny when she finds out because it's like I expect her to be jealous and she's a little jealous, but she's more like, I can't really blame them because who wouldn't fall in love with Sam? He's just perfect. And Steph, her character annoyed me so much in this book. She had some major bipolar issues going on, but Chris, oh my gosh, Chris, he literally was one of the best characters I've read in this series. He's probably so upset he's not going to be in the next one, or at least not as a human, only as a sylph, and sacrificing himself for Anna and Steph was just, it was heroic, of course, like any sacrifice is basically, except for Trish Pryor. Let's not talk about her sacrifices. There was just something even more like poignant about it, the fact that he was sacrificing himself for the girls that loved this guy that he had loved at one time. Like, it was just, it's crazy to think about, and it sounds really weird explaining it, but the fact that, like, Anna was there and he could have, like, just been like, Sam will find someone else. And Steph was like half-heartedly like, oh, maybe I should do it. I was like, yeah, make her do it. But sadly, it was Chris that did it. And oh, it made me sad. Sam and Anna, their relationship just became so much more cuter in this book. Oh my gosh, I was literally like smiling like a dork reading it. When he told her he loved her and she started crying, I was like, oh, that's awkward. But then at the end, when she told him she loved him, oh my gosh, I had the dumbest smile on my face, literally. It was like someone was telling me they loved me. I felt so happy. I was like, yes, this is a perfect way to end this book. I love it. And their relationship is really funny, even though, as Steph pointed out, it's a little weird because he is 5,000 years older than her, but he looks 18, so it's not weird in my mind. Unfortunately, not everything could be so happy in the book because then we wouldn't have a plot line. So, like I said before, the whole thing with the new souls, we are getting new souls now that Temple Dark has happened, and Heart lost 90, 80, I don't know exactly how many they lost, but they lost a lot of people who aren't coming back. So we get the new souls, and automatically people are hating them. They're like, oh, they're gonna take over. But the old souls, I guess you can call them, really hate the new souls. And because the other new souls are babies, they focus all their hate mainly on Anna. So she actually can talk and like do stuff that they hate. Anna manages to find out a way to control the sylph, even though it's only with music. So I was like, oh, that's not a big deal. But of course, all the people who hate her use this knowledge against her, that she's trying to ruin Heart, blah, blah, blah. So she ends up getting kicked out of Heart. And when she got kicked out of Heart, I was just kind of like, I saw it coming. I wasn't too upset. I'm excited because I feel like it's going to fuel her fire and kind of get her going to get back, because we learned that not everyone in Heart has the purest intentions, the most of all being John, yeah, that guy. Didn't realize in the first one that like all the forgetting magic that he can make Sam and all the other people, all the other reincarnated people forget stuff. So basically Anna is like the only one that can remember half the stuff that really happened, and she's like, guys, this happened. They're like, when did that happen? And I feel like now that Sam left Heart with Anna, he's going to be able to remember more, which makes me really happy because I really like Sam, and I really want him to be able to help without being just kind of like, what's going on? Anna lost most of her stuff. She lost her father's notebooks on how to make a temple dark. She lost the key to get into the temple. She lost Chris when he sacrificed himself. Don't cry, don't cry. She lost so much stuff that she's literally like, it's kind of her and Sam against the world right now. And at the end, we learn that Sam, awesome Sam, has been running this poison basically that can kill or at least put out of commission Janan for a little while, and he has been basically running it the entire book without any of our knowledge. So now they have at least one weapon that they could possibly use against Janan, even though I don't know if it's going to work that well, but I'm excited to see how it goes. This book I felt like was literally the perfect second book because this is what a trilogy should do. This one should set up the questions, the second one should answer a majority of those questions, and then the third one should use the knowledge that we learned in the second one to just destroy the bad guy. And I feel like that is what Anna's gonna do. She's gonna figure out how to beat Janan, how to like live her life and just be happy. And I feel like she's gonna do something with a sylph now that she knows to control them, and now that she knows they're not exactly monsters. They're kind of people who, in Janan's eyes, have betrayed him and deserve to like live as these just wingless creatures. I don't even know what sylphs look like. That's one thing that has bothered me the entire time. I don't get what they look like, but oh my gosh, it's just so heartbreaking. And seeing Chris as a sylph, oh, I cried all over again. And then the fact that nobody even remembered. They were all like, oh yeah, Chris just, you know, got mobbed by like 5 people when we were doing the market attack. You know, no big deal. Like, no one remembered. And that made me so sad because he really like, oh, he sacrificed himself so much and he paid like the ultimate price. But learning about like the sylph and all that, I feel like that is going to be a huge, crucial moment, because when I read that, I was like, what? Like, I did not see that coming at all, but it makes sense, like I said, going back. I hope in the next book we get, because like in this book they mentioned how they have like centaurs and phoenixes, so I'm really excited. I hope that like they come in and kind of help Anna as well. I just honestly, I have no idea how this is going to wrap up. I'm so excited to see how it goes. This is literally turning into one of my favorite series, and I'm like kicking myself for waiting so long, but the good part is that I can read them now all in a row. I don't have to wait like a year to find out what happens. I absolutely love this book. It gets 5 stars from me. Anna grew so much. If Anna annoyed you in the first book, you will probably love her in this book because she really comes into her own. I'm so proud of where she's going. She can actually say she loves Sam, she loves feelings. Like, learn that she is not going to be reincarnated, unfortunately, but I feel like that's not a big deal as long as she gets to enjoy her life, because this book, the message is basically YOLO. Like, yes, these people get reincarnated, but Anna only has 1 life to live, and she has done so much more with her 1 life and plans to do so much more with her 1 life than all these other people have in their 5,000 years. So basically, yeah, the message of this book is YOLO. If you can take one thing away from the series, it's YOLO. Just live your life, okay? I definitely recommend this book if you haven't checked it out, or if you know someone who hasn't checked it out. It's so good and so different. It's one of those books, yes, it's dystopian, but it's different. It's hard to define and like hard to explain, and you know those are the good books when they're hard to explain. So thank you all for watching. My name's Miranda, and I will see you next time when hopefully I can review Infinite and say it was just as good, even better than this book. So bye! Thank you for watching!